Welcome everybody out there.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Football Prediction with me and teacher Mark.
Like, what the hell is going on? And all these players, like Liverpool was an absolute... Let's not get crazy. We're a three-team teaser.
Again, this episode we'll talk about the FA Cup
recap,
the Premier League prediction, and we're gonna go hard on Liverpool as well.
Oh man, they got it coming.
Yeah, because if you know, teacher Mark is a Liverpool guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, you still want to roast them.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Let's start off with the FA Cup.
FA Cup. Oh yeah, we'll start out with what happened in the FA Cup last weekend. Some exciting matches. Sadly, our three-match teaser did not come off. These things happen. 3 draws actually for what we went through, which is very, very rare. I can't remember ever putting together a 3-match slip and all 3 games came off as a draw, but oh well. In the FA Cup, it's almost impossible to predict. But first, we'll talk about Man City over Arsenal. Real solid win for them. There wasn't really too much between the two teams. I don't think Arsenal will be too bothered that they lost. Their focus is the Premier League. For Man City, they can feel good about the win, but they didn't look terribly impressive in the game, particularly Erling Haaland. Another kind of poor game for him against a big side. He looked really bad against Man United a few weeks ago. He looked bad against Arsenal. But Ake got the goal. Man City moving on. They'll feel good about it.
To be fair, I didn't expect Ake to shoot though.
Yeah, I don't think Arsenal did either.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I really want to talk about Man City is the keeper on that match.
Yes.
I mean, he's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Ederson. I mean, if I would have chose to trust someone, I would trust him more than Ederson. Because you know, Ederson he's kind of. I mean,
He every now and again he'll have a mistake.
He will always have mistakes in the game. Maybe a small mistake or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good with his foot. Also, the keeper in that game. I can't remember his name. What's his name? Do you remember him?
Oh, the Man City backup.
The Man City backup.
Oh, it's the American.
Yep.
Stefan.
No. The guy that played against Arsenal in the FA Cup.
We'll look it up.
So, but yeah. I really like him.
He did have some nice saves though.
He had loads of nice saves. I really like him though. But yeah, I mean, Ederson, he's quite okay. But I mean,
well, I mean, Ederson, he slid to number 2 with Brazil. Alisson passed him, so you know there's I guess been a slight decline to the way he's played recently. I still think he's their number 1, but yeah, in that game, Man City had some real key moments in the goalkeeping position.
Yep. Anyway, but yeah, Arsenal, you know, they're really good at attacking in that game. Kyle Walker couldn't deal with Martinelli, you know.
Oh, Martinelli
screwed him over.
Arsenal have so much pace, you know, getting forward. They're young and vibrant and full of energy. If you're not focused as a defender for 90 minutes against Arsenal, you're gonna make a mistake.
For sure.
It's that easy. They have loads of confidence. Their ball movement is fantastic. So yeah, Man City had their hands full, but they did have a clean sheet. You know, Man City, they dug deep in that game, and they deserved their win.
But yeah, I back it though, 1-0.
Yeah, you did hit that one bang on 1-0. Yep.
Bang on 1-0.
1-0. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
So that was brilliant. So Man City, they're moving on. I saw in the next round of the FA Cup, they were drawn with Bristol, I believe. Bristol City.
Yeah, I think
is who they drew in the next round.
Wasn't it Fleetwood?
Is it Fleetwood? All right, could be Fleetwood. I'll have to look at the draw again. There's been so much football stuff going on this week, but yeah, it could be Fleetwood.
Yeah.
I know Man U, they drew with West Ham in the next round. I saw that one. That'll be kind of a good game to look forward to. But anyway, the other match to talk about, FA Cup, that we'll get into a bit, Liverpool with Brighton.
Oh, I'm sure you're excited about this.
Another absolute debacle for Liverpool. A total collapse. Liverpool actually did score first in that game, but they never looked like they were going to win that game. Brighton scored to make it 1-1 fairly quickly after that. Halftime 1-1. Second half, Brighton was always going to be the team that was pushing forward for the goal. And so at 80 minutes is when the big talking points came on. Fabinho came on the pitch. Jordan Henderson came on the pitch. And at that point, I knew Liverpool were finished. Because those two guys should never play another match for Liverpool Football Club ever again. They are done. Full stop, done. And then sure enough, Fabinho with a shocking challenge. shocking challenge. How it's not a red card, I'm not sure. I actually think Fabinho wanted a red card. I think he wanted off the pitch. He came on, he looked disinterested, he looked like he didn't care, and when the referee showed him a yellow, I think he was disappointed. I think he wanted a red.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he doesn't want to be playing right now. He has zero confidence. He has zero heart and desire right now. And that leads us to the other big problem with Liverpool right now, is they just don't give a shit. They just don't care, you know. There's so many players on that team that if they win, they're fine. If they lose, they're fine. They just don't care. And sure enough, Brighton got the goal late on, 92nd minute, win the game, 2-1, totally deserved win for Brighton. They were the much, much better team. And they're moving on. And they can feel good about it. Brighton can feel really good about their season. For Liverpool, another catastrophe. I would say, I was thinking about this, I think that there's currently 5 players that should not be playing for Liverpool right now. 4 of them should never play again.
Which is?
Fabinho should never play again.
Fabinho.
Jordan Henderson should never play again. Curtis Jones should never play again.
Curtis Jones.
Never play again. James Milner should never play again.
Yeah, he should be gone by now.
Gone. He should be gone by now. Yeah. I actually like James Milner. If James Milner played for Arsenal, he would be fine because James Milner actually can still do a few things when he's in a good team with good players. But when you ask James Milner to do a lot of responsibility, have a lot of responsibility, he can't do it anymore.
He just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, and with Liverpool, there's too much responsibility for him, so he should never play again. And Alexander-Arnold should also never play. Yeah, there's a chance that maybe he can turn his career around after like sitting on the bench for 3 months and working hard in training, maybe. But for right now, I would say for the next 3 months, he should never play again for Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold. And those other 4 should never play again, full stop. They have serious problems in the midfield. Everybody knows that. Their defending is so-so. Going forward, they got players that just don't seem interested. Salah doesn't care. Gakpo hasn't been a good signing. Diaz is injured. Jota's injured. Nunez is injured. Firmino is injured. So they have serious problems going forward. Alexander Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's another one that should never be playing again as well. He's absolute garbage. He should not be on the pitch. So I guess we could say he's 6. 6, because we can put Chamberlain in there as well. He should never play again for Liverpool. Defending, Van Dijk's out. Konate's out. So they have so many injuries, but they really lack passion and desire. Really, the only big asset that Liverpool has right now, their key asset is the manager, Jurgen Klopp. That's it. I still believe in Klopp. If he's given time, he can turn it around. I don't know if he's going to get time, but I still believe that he can do it. He can rebuild the team, but it's going to take another 2 seasons for Liverpool to come back.
For sure. I mean, they have loads of hashtag going on Twitter about Klopp.
Oh, yeah. Well,
would you save him or fire him?
You 1,000% save Jurgen Klopp, full stop. Anybody that wants Jurgen Klopp out at Liverpool is a moron, an absolute moron. Like this guy built up Liverpool from the Brendan Rodgers era when they were total garbage, and he took them to 4 consecutive brilliant seasons. Yeah. 4. They had 4 straight brilliant seasons. And now things are tough right now because they have injuries and they have old players and they haven't signed anybody and they have a lot of garbage. But Jurgen Klopp he still has all his tactics correct. He just doesn't have the players that can do those tactics.
Yeah.
So if they sign some players and he's given time to rebuild the team, they're going to be fine.
Definitely.
You don't sack Klopp under any circumstances. You do not sack the guy.
Yeah, because I think the guy that want Klopp out is maybe probably just a little kid, and maybe he couldn't accept the fact that Liverpool lose.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, fuck the manager. But you were right. Klopp was the one who bring Liverpool back.
Oh yeah.
If Liverpool don't have Klopp.
Yeah,
I just can't imagine what he would be like right now.
You sack a manager for 2 reasons. Number 1, you sack him because the team is so bad, they're going to drop down a division and be relegated, which even though Liverpool is terrible, they're not going to be relegated. Or you sack them because you feel like there's a better manager out there to replace them. There's not a better manager out there to replace Jurgen Klopp.
I mean, Klopp is world, absolutely legendary.
There's nobody out there better to replace him. You know, so those are the 2 reasons a manager gets sacked. And Jurgen Klopp doesn't fall into either of those 2 categories. So you give him time. Is Liverpool going to sign anybody though? Is the big issue. So I've heard names being thrown around like this summer, like, oh, they're focusing on the summer. Jude Bellingham. No way is Jude Bellingham coming to Liverpool. Declan Rice, no way.
Absolutely no
James
way.
Maddison, no way. Ruben Neves, no way. And even if, say, any of these four midfielders or any other top midfielder, let's say one of these guys does want to come to Liverpool. Let's just say by chance, let's say just for the sake of argument, Jude Bellingham says, you know what, I want to come to Liverpool. He doesn't, but let's say he does.
All right.
Borussia Dortmund are going to say, fine, we'll let you go to Liverpool. 120 million pounds. Liverpool aren't going to pay that. They're not going to pay it. Real Madrid will pay it. Man City will pay it. So he'll go to one of those clubs. Let's say Declan Rice says, just by chance, okay, I want to go to Liverpool. West Ham will say, fine, 80 million pounds. Liverpool ain't going to pay it. They're not paying 80 million pounds for Declan Rice because their owners are cheap. They're really, really cheap. So Liverpool are going to have to sign some like B-grade players, Europa League quality players, and Jurgen Klopp is going to have to try to build them up. And that's it. No top level midfielder is coming to Liverpool either because, number one, they're not in the Champions League next season, or number two, Liverpool are too cheap to pay the price. So that's a big, big job that Jurgen Klopp's going to have with developing midfielders that aren't at the top level. They ain't getting anybody, like they ain't getting Man City, Arsenal, Man United quality. Liverpool ain't getting those type of players. They're not going to pay the money.
But I think talking about the guys that you're going to get rid of,
yeah.
I've heard that maybe Klopp at the end of the season, at the end of this season, the 22-23 season, he said he's going to get rid of the players, the useless players.
Oh yeah.
The useless
I'm sure.
I'm sorry.
I know the useless dudes. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of them that are going, well, Chamberlain's out of contract, so he's gone, full stop. Milner's out of contract as well. I don't think he's getting a new deal, so those guys are gone.
So they probably end up as a free agent.
Free agent, that's right, free agent. But Fabinho, he's got like 3 years left on his deal. Who's going to buy him? Nobody's going to buy Jordan Henderson. Curtis Jones, somebody in the Championship might buy him because he's still young and has potential. But it would be very small money, of course, for Liverpool. But somebody might buy Curtis Jones. And Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool aren't going to sell them because he's still young and he might be able to turn his career around. He might. So they'll give him a little bit more time. They don't really have anybody of quality to sell. There's nobody all the quality players that Liverpool have are either on long contracts that other teams don't want to take, or Liverpool will want to keep them. So they don't have any money coming in. Liverpool's really only hope right now for a quick turnaround is Qatar. That's it.
Qatar.
If some big ownership group from Qatar comes in and says, we want to buy Liverpool, then they'll have a huge amount of money coming in.
I was about to say that they should sell the club.
Oh yeah, well there's talk of them selling the club, but nothing's really happened. Because when we do sell a club, we can parlay that into our next conversation. The transfer window that just closed, Chelsea Football Club.
Brilliant.
They're just not messing around. They're absolutely not messing around.
They are.
They spent around 300 million.
How much have they spent though? They should have a problem with the financial.
They say Chelsea used a tactic that other clubs haven't used actually before, is they're signing these players to these huge deals and then they're giving them like 7 and 8 year contracts and they're spreading all the money along 7 and 8 years, which is cheeky, but it's legal. Actually, they just UEFA announced after this transfer window, they're stopping that. So nobody's going to be able to do it again to spread the money over a 7 or 8 year contract, which is why Chelsea was able to spend £600 million. So in the last 2 transfer windows, it's 600 million. I think it was like the last transfer window was something like 220, and this transfer window was around 380. So they've gone over 600 million in the last 2 windows. Here's the thing. Some of the players that they sign are going to be garbage. They've signed too many, some aren't going to work, but some of them absolutely are going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome. But how are they going to field all these guys? I'll give you an example. In the past transfer window, they signed Raheem Sterling. Raheem, big time player. 50 million pounds they signed him for. He's been a ghost this season. He's been really quiet. He hasn't done anything. He had an injury, fair enough. But when he comes back, how is he going to push into this team? Like, where's the spot for Raheem Sterling? How is he going to get in there? So they've spent a lot of money, but some of it surely has been wasted. Some of it. Enzo Fernandez, the big deal, 108 million. This is a guy that was amazing at the World Cup. Benfica signed him 6 months ago for £8 million from River Plate in Argentina. That's it. 6 months ago, they signed him for £8 million. And they parlayed that into a £100 million profit.
Jeez.
Because this guy had a good World Cup. But just because he played, in the World Cup, he played 7 games. Because he had a good 7 games in the World Cup, does that mean he's going to come to the Premier League and be a superstar?
Nah.
Who knows?
Probably not.
Probably not. Maybe yes, maybe no, but that's a massive risk for Chelsea. Massive. Let's see how these players, how they turn out. Of course, some of them are going to be successful. I'm sure of that. Some of them, they probably won't be. They sold Jorginho to Arsenal. He's quite older now. He wasn't going to play. They tried to sign or sell Hakim Ziyech to PSG, but it fell through. It fell apart because the paperwork was late. So it didn't work. And I guess Hakim Ziyech was pissed. I guess he was really pissed about it.
Of course, because PSG and Chelsea were on another level.
Right. So he's going back to Chelsea. So it's another player that Chelsea had. It's really interesting. Graham Potter's got a big job about how to play all these players and have these reserve players. And by the way, Chelsea are out of the League Cup. They're out of the FA Cup as well. So okay, they're still in the Champions League. They played Borussia Dortmund. They definitely could lose that game. So pretty much Chelsea has just the Premier League to try to get all these players involved in, which is impossible. So it's interesting. But if I was a Chelsea supporter, I would be excited. There's a lot of new players coming in. They have a bright future. Whereas Liverpool, it's just dark days. Dark days. I guess real quick in the transfer window, Arsenal signed Broussard and they signed Jorginho, as we said. Man U brought in a couple of players, nothing too big. Man City selling Cancelo to Bayern Munich. That's the big news, the big story. Because the last 2 years he was Premier League first 11, end of the season, top player. This season, he's been a little bit shaky. Tactics have changed because of Erling Haaland. And I guess he had a real big fight with Guardiola.
Well, I've heard the news as well. Let me tell you this.
So lay it on me.
When Cancelo, when he signed for Bayern Munich, and at the press conference, he was talking a lot of shit about Pep.
Oh yeah.
He said that, Pep said that, this is what Cancelo said.
Yeah.
He said that he didn't like my attitude. I gotta change the way I'm playing. And anyway, he's bold. Who wouldn't trust a bold guy like him? I mean, I had no respect for him anyway. My new boss has a very good hairstyle, fresh, and he doesn't smell bad. That's what he said. I mean, first I listened to it, I was like, what?
Those are harsh words.
They are pretty harsh.
Especially smells bad. I've always said that, in this kind of era of trolling and haters saying, F you, screw you, I'm gonna mess you up, you're dead. There's 2 things we can say to somebody that hurts more than anything else. Number 1 is you smell bad, and number 2 is you're fat. That's it. It doesn't matter, anything we say to somebody on internet, on trolling, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever, nothing can beat you smell bad or you're fat. Nothing can beat it. And if he said that about Guardiola, that's a cheap shot.
It is.
That is a cheap shot, man.
I was like, what the hell?
And bad hairstyle as well, because Guardiola, he's a skinhead. Of course, he shaved his head, so that's also a cheap shot, man.
It is.
Man. We'll see how it turns out. Cancelo actually played his first game last night for Bayern Munich in the Cup, the German Cup, and he had a good game. He played very well, so right away he's played well. He's going to do well. He did well in the Premier League for 2 seasons. In the Bundesliga, I love the Bundesliga, but the pace and the speed of the Bundesliga isn't the same as the Premier League. So because of that, he's going to do amazing in that league. Absolutely amazing. 100%. For Bayern Munich, when Man City picked up the phone and called Bayern Munich and said, "Hey, listen, we're looking to sell Cancelo. Are you interested?" Bayern Munich must have been holy shit, how lucky are we? I can't believe this is happening. to get a player of this quality in the January transfer window, it's very rare. So they've got a great player. He's going to do well. For Man City, for Pep, this was all about power. Guardiola showed his power. Listen, you got a problem with me, you're gone. See you later. And he's showing his power to the rest of the Man City team as well. Listen, this is how we do things. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you cross the line, if you mess up, you're gone. Yeah. That's it. So maybe Man City will have more harmony because of this. Maybe it'll help them. I'm not sure. I know for their back line, they still have Kyle Walker. They have Ake. They have Diaz. They have Laporte. They have Stones. So their back line as well. I'll tell you what the deal that looks really bad for Man City now, though, that now that they sold Cancelo, in the summer window 5 months ago, they sold Zinchenko, the fullback for Arsenal. Yeah. And Zinchenko's having an amazing season for Arsenal. So Man City have lost 2 top fullbacks in the last 2 windows, Zinchenko and Cancelo. And that hurts.
It really hurts.
Definitely hurts.
We lost both of our fullbacks.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Kyle Walker, but Kyle Walker, I like it. Listen, I love Kyle Walker, but, you know, he is a little bit older, a little bit. So let's see how the rest of the season goes. So, I mean, that's the window. We'll wait until next summer for new players being signed. But let's get into the Premier League this weekend.
Here we go.
We got some big matches coming up.
14 teaser.
Okay, let's get into the team teaser right off the bat. Okay, so last week, you did hit the 1-0 with Man City over Arsenal in the FA Cup, so brilliant. Yeah. I missed mine. I was really close, but 3 draws. What can we say? I'm coming with a 4-team teaser this weekend. Yeah, 4-team teaser. This
for a big chunk of money.
For a big chunk of money, I'm going with a 4-match teaser.
Here we go.
Right off the bat, first game, I like Chelsea over Fulham. I know just a couple weeks ago, Fulham beat Chelsea, but Chelsea with all these new players, this game's at Stamford Bridge. I think they're going to have an energy and confidence. Chelsea over Fulham. Next match, Man United over Crystal Palace. This is another one. Just a couple weeks ago, Crystal Palace had a 1-1 draw with Man United. They played them very well, very tough. This match is at Old Trafford. I like Man U to win it.
Man U to win it.
Next match, I'm going with Brentford over Southampton.
This one's gonna be a little bit sexy, but
yeah, this one is right. This one is a little bit tight because I actually like the way Southampton are playing, but this match is in London. I think Brentford will be able to just nick it. So I'm going to go for a Brentford win over Southampton. And my last match of my teaser is the match that I kind of want to focus on the most. It's a match that's going to have a lot of talking points. I like Arsenal over Everton.
Arsenal over Everton. Arsenal should be able to win this game.
Correct. But I do want to talk about this game a bit more because a lot of shit's going down at Everton recently. And we've talked about it on some past videos, but they did hire Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, they did hire him, so they've got a new manager. The game is at Goodison Park. They might have a new manager energy. So I think Everton actually is going to give Arsenal a game. I do. I'm going to go for Arsenal 2-1 in that game, but I think it's going to be very competitive. Everton are going to come out with a lot of energy, but let's talk about this about Everton. This past transfer window was an absolute disaster for them. They're the only team in English football that did not sign anybody. 0. They didn't sign anybody. And they sold Anthony Gordon for £45 million in Newcastle. Now, Anthony Gordon is a decent player, but they got that $45 million in for him 2 days before the transfer window closed. They hired a new manager. They didn't spend any of it. Nothing. So they got all this money. They didn't buy any new players. They brought in a new manager, and they sold probably their best player. I mean, Anthony Gordon is nothing special. But Everton are so bad, he probably was their best player. So, let's think about this. You had the worst team in the Premier League. You sold your best player. You didn't spend any of the money. And you brought in a new manager. So, I don't really know what the new manager can do for Everton. I don't. Like, he's kind of bringing in, like, he's taking over from Frank Lampard, who couldn't do anything. With Sean Dyche, they'll have a little bit of energy, of course, some new tactics. That might give them a bit of energy for 3 matches, 4 matches, but there's still, I think, 18 matches for them to play. And over 18 matches with no new players coming in, I still think they're getting relegated. They're going down.
Really?
Oh yeah, I still think Everton are going down.
If they were really going to get relegated, you better say goodbye to Pickford because he ain't staying.
Oh, Pickford's long gone. Absolutely, he's Spurs. I think Spurs would be the one. Yeah, definitely Spurs would be the one.
Get rid of Hugo
Lloris, yeah. So I guess that was my focus on that game. So those are my winners: Brentford, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U. Those are my 4 winners. But I'm very interested. I'm really looking forward to the Arsenal-Everton game because Arsenal, obviously, they're outstanding. But I'm really curious to see how Everton is with a new manager playing at home. I'm looking forward to that one. One match I didn't touch on that's in my teaser that I didn't really want to go at because I don't really feel good about it is probably the biggest match of the weekend: Man City with Spurs.
Oh.
Man City played Spurs a few weeks ago. It was a classic 4-2 win for Man City. We actually picked that match correct.
We did.
Now they got to play again. This match is in London. It's a little bit difficult to call. It could be a draw. It possibly could be a draw. I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I could see Man City winning it. On the other hand, I could see Harry Kane getting a couple goals and winning it for Spurs as well. But it's definitely one that we're looking forward to.
What will the score going to be? Come on.
Okay, if we're going for a score in that game, Man City and Spurs, 3-3.
3-3.
3-3.
I would say Man City 2 and Spurs 1.
Okay. You
2-1.
It's much more likely 2-1 Man City. You hit Man City last week, so maybe you'll get them again this week.
So I bang on loads of straight results.
Oh yeah.
For 2 matches already, so I got 2 matches in a row.
Yep.
We'll see would this be the 3rd. If it is, maybe you should hire me as a sport predictor.
Absolutely.
Who knows? But yeah, I was really excited for this.
I'm really excited. Yeah, it's great to have the Premier League back. You know, the FA Cup is nice, but listen, get that Premier League back. That's what it's all about.
One more thing I really want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Leeds against Forest.
Okay, Leeds against Forest.
This one's going to be super tight.
I completely agree. This one's going to be tight. Forest just signed Neves, the goalkeeper, Keylor Neves. Yeah, from Real Madrid. Champions League winning goalkeeper. 3 Champions League titles. Well, he actually won 4, but he was the starting keeper for 3 of them. He's going to Forest. Great goalkeeper. Great signing. Forest is at home in that game, I believe. It's at Forest. Leeds does have a bit of energy to him, though. I like the manager from Leeds, Jesse Marsh. He's an American. I like him. He's done a good job there. I'll go for a draw in that game.
Go for a draw.
I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Holy shit. I would say...
I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
I'll say Leeds could slightly win it by 1 win.
Leeds could. It's another one of those for me could go either way. I don't want to touch that game.
I could see loads of different results in my head right now.
Me too.
But yeah, I mean, Forest, they have loads of decent keeper. I mean, if they just signed Keylor Navas, they have...
Well, Dean Henderson.
They even had the Wales keeper. What's his name? Hennessy? What's his name?
Hennessy.
Wayne Hennessy.
Yeah.
He's a good keeper as well. They have three good quality keepers already.
Correct.
I just can't see what Dean Henderson's gonna say if they. I don't know who will be the first choice for them.
Well, Dean Henderson is injured. That's why they signed Neves. So Henderson, I guess, is out for like 4 months. That's why they signed him. But when Henderson comes back, right, what are they going to do?
How will he manage to keep him?
I don't know. They might have. Well, Dean Henderson is still just on loan from Man United. So Man United could call him back on that loan. And then Nottingham Forest will just go with Neves for the future.
Could be.
And I think that's what they're thinking is because Man United could just call back that loan. Who knows what's going to happen with David De Gea in the future? I still like De Gea, but David De Gea kind of reminds me of Hugo Lloris now. Like, he's still a great keeper, and I still like him, but I don't have complete trust in him anymore. So maybe Man U will say, you know what? We're going with Dean Henderson. Could be.
I mean, Man U have already offer a loan to lots of keepers, like Dubravka.
Dubravka,
from Newcastle, but then he just got called back.
Called back, yeah.
But now, what?
They signed the one a loan, Butland, Jack Butland from. I think they got him from Stoke City in the Championship. I think they got him on a loan deal. I'll have to research that. I'll have to check that one. I thought I saw Butland on the move, and it might have been the Man U, but that's for another day. Nottingham Forest and Leeds is really tight for me to call.
It's going to be tight.
I I do think though Nottingham Forest will stay in the Premier League though. Leeds definitely will, and I think Nottingham Forest will because I think Nottingham Forest can defend a little bit better than some of the teams at the bottom, so I think they'll stay up. I think Forest will stay up.
Yeah, and their manager is pretty good.
Steve Cooper. We love him. Steve Cooper, yeah. Yep. So there's a lot of interesting games this weekend, a lot to look forward to, and we'll talk about them next week. And by the way, today, February 2nd, Groundhog Day, by the way.
Groundhog
Day, and that means we're into February. Champions League is coming back soon, and we'll get into all of that. The Carabao Cup final is now set. Newcastle with Manchester United. That should be a great final.
We gotta predict that one.
Yeah,
as well.
that's at the end of February though. That'll definitely be down the road, further down the road, of course. So Champions League is back this month. League Cup final later on this month. But this weekend, all about the Premier League.
All about the Prem. Well, we hope we will smash them.
I hope we can hit that 4-match teaser. By the way, we came hard at Liverpool. They're playing Wolves this weekend. Liverpool ain't winning that game. Absolutely not. They ain't winning that game. I didn't put that match in my teaser because it possibly could be a 0-0 draw. Because Wolves have some small problems right now. It could be a 0-0 or a 1-1, but Liverpool definitely are not beating Wolves this weekend. Absolutely not.
I just don't want to touch that.
I don't want to touch it either. I don't want to touch it.
One match could screw up all the best.
Yeah, absolutely. One match could screw it all up. But I guess I feel comfortable with Chelsea, Arsenal, Brentford, and Man U to win this weekend. That's what I'm going to
see. Well, I hope they do.
Hope we hit it.
So we can have a big revenge on the last week of the FA Cup. You know, I mean, everything we pick, they've been quite bad. You know, first they both. I mean, they didn't score first.
They didn't score first. I know. Yeah, for all those matches that we picked, well, the one match of Fulham with Sunderland, that was a hell of a good game. I watched that game live, and man, either team could have won that game. It was end to end. It was 1-1, but that game could have been 5-5. I mean, it was 90 minutes of spectacular football. So it was a fun game to watch. Listen, I've been watching football for decades now. Nothing surprises me anymore. You know, these games can go either way. So we're just there to give you some ideas, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out. But I think Sunderland, they're ready for Premier League. From the performance they go against.
Absolutely.
I think they're ready.
Sunderland are a team on the rise. They've been down out of the Premier League for a long time now. They used to be in the Premier League always, but they've been out now for I think 7 years, something. I think they've been out for 7 years, so I think we'll see them again in the next few seasons.
They're ready. They'll be ready.
Yep, they'll be back. I did see the championship standings. I know that Sheffield United is having a great season. They're definitely coming up next season. Sheffield United will be back. Oh yeah, they'll be back in the Premier League. So they're one to look forward to. I think the other one is Watford as well. And Watford is like the ultimate yo-yo club, always up and down, up and down. You get these yo-yo clubs, and Watford is definitely one of them, and they'll be back next season. Watford will be back, of course.
Yeah, miss Ben Foster. He's already gone.
Yeah, they have the other. They have Ismail Sarr, he's a good player, but that's for next season. Anyway, Premier League this weekend. Enjoy it, everybody out there. We'll be back next weekend to talk more football with you. It's been brilliant.
Yeah. So don't forget to place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
Place those bets.
And probably just enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game.
Place your bets, enjoy your game, and hope you guys will win a big chunk of money.
Absolutely. I hope everybody wins money out there. Everybody.
Yep. So that's gonna do it for today, guys. Hope to see you guys again next week. So that's gonna do it for today with me and Teacher Mark. See you guys again next week of Football Prediction with me and Teacher Mark.
Absolutely.
Peace. Traditions.